Hello, everybody. Great to be here again with you all. Good to see some new faces. It's wonderful joining us on the Wednesday session in person. I know a lot of you can't make it in person, so that's all right. Just have to make do with the recordings. All right, so you guys would have hopefully got a video. I'd love you to watch that video. Just take 3 minutes before this starts and watch it. It's about Stig, the freediver. It's a beautiful video. Now, I'm not normally one of those motivational kind of guys. There's people out there who do motivational speaking, etc., much better than I do. But this video has quite a lot of sentiment to me, and it also carries a bit of an understanding in what we're going to be going through today and next week. And a great question was asked to me earlier, and that was, Scott, when do your sessions finish? How long do these Wednesday sessions go on for? And the answer is, as you know, never. We're going to keep going and going and going and going. And I've got some incredible stuff planned for you guys. Next week, we've got Sally Anderson. She's a phenomenon. These special guests that I'm going to bring on from time to time are very specific. They're not going to be generic. They are very, very specific in terms of the issue or the problem that we need to fix, or to help expand on a very specific issue that you guys need to know about with regards to the philosophy of closing the LinkedIn appointments into deals, etc., etc. So just to begin with, guys, let me just have a little chat about where we're at and what the purpose of today and next week are specifically going to be. All right. So once again, our beautiful diagram about the gap. Now, to get people through the gap from one end to the other, right? That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get them out of this nurturing process to closing. This bit's easy. It's inviting people. It's sending them the acceptance message. It's your captivating one-liner. We've done all this. You can go click send, click send, click send, and that's just diligence and just doing it. You guys love being in the comfy chair, we call it, in closing deals, but these people in the gap, 19 out of 20 of them are not going to come to you. You've got to proactively fish them out. And you fish them out with the app over here by moving them from high quality contacts into great conversations and to deals in progress. Now we're going to start to get quite specific. All right. And the specific in that you want a deal in progress. We know that. You want to get deals. You want to sit in the comfy chair. You want to be able to chat to clients about their pain and start putting prices and proposals together. That's your ultimate goal. But to get there, you need to have a great conversation. And to get that great conversation, you've got to be communicating with high quality people in the first place. This, from high quality contacts to great conversations to deals in progress, is the process of getting them out of this gap. All right. And that's why diligence and measurement is so incredibly important. You're sending out your captivating one-liner. You've got hopefully a few people clicking on it. Don't be worried if you're not getting people specifically responding to it. But how do you move them through the process? All right. Now, to begin with, I want to talk to you guys about something to remember in the back of your head. The greatest salespeople in the world, doctors. Doctors are amazing because they listen and they diagnose. Do you remember that? So this process of getting out of the gap is to think like a doctor. You listen and you diagnose. A doctor doesn't sit on his chair or her chair and somebody comes in and goes, hi, say, hi, how's the family doing? Good. How's the little one? Great. Yeah. Still running around causing chaos. Yeah, absolutely. Just before we begin, I just want to tell you how unbelievably awesome these new cough capsules are. They're incredible. Like they've just come out. They're phenomenal. And then spend the next 10 minutes raving about how great this cough medicine is before you've even, as a doctor, listened to what the patient has to say. It sounds absurd, but that's what we're always doing. So what does a doctor do? Listen and diagnose. All right. That is the foundation of getting them out of this gap. Now, in the video that I showed you earlier is Stig the freediver. Now, as you probably guessed, I love freediving. That's actually me, if you guys can see that on the shared screen. It's something, I'm an amateur freediver. I can't do anything close to what this guy can do, but I love it. And it's just something really resonates with me. Now, what Stig does is he actually cured himself from a very serious arthritis using freediving. So he cured himself from it. And he, just through a combination of meditation and understanding his body and diving really, really deep depths, he managed to not only cure himself from a seriously debilitating disease, but he also managed to break several world records as well. Now, he built this pool. So he's standing in a pool that he developed, and I'm just going to quickly go through this. And he talks about being in the box, but he talks about the fact that once you go down a few meters, so he built this pool to help people overcome their fears. And I want you to think about where he is now, 10, 12 meters down, as the point at which you are here in LinkedIn doing your invitation and acceptance messages. So to get to this 10, 12 meter mark, you've got your link, your captivating one-liner, and you're doing your invitations and you've accepted it. You've already gone down quite a long path and a nice path to get to the point where you are sharing valuable content and you are showing your audience that you are an expert at what you do. But that's just the beginning. Now you've got to actually start getting those deals. And this is where things get a little bit trickier. So I want you to think of the dark box that he's going into now as the messages that you're going to start writing. Those confident messages, those professional insight messages that I took you through. And it's a bit strange because you're not used to doing it. You're normally used to asking questions like, oh, are you feeling like this? Or shall we get on a phone call? Or have you seen my proposal? Or would you like to set up a coffee? People don't respond to those messages. So when you start going into that dark box, you've got to send them messages that do something extraordinary. They show the other person that you know their pain better than they do. That's what a doctor does. The doctor knows your pain better than they do. Listen and diagnose. So when you first send these messages, this is that dark box that you're going into now, making professional and profound statements about their pain. It's just using LinkedIn Messenger or email or the bits and pieces that I've shown you thus far. That's the dark box. And when you're scared to send those messages out because you're not sure how they're going to be received, you've just got to do it. And when you start sending those messages out, you'll notice that those messages actually are pretty cool. And it's not so bad. And you're not going to get people yelling at you. You're actually going to get people potentially replying to you. And if they don't reply, you're going to do your follow-ups. And it's actually okay to do that. And it's actually cool. There's nothing to worry about. And lo and behold, it's going to take you to the next step where you're going to start getting a conversation going. Now things get scary. This is where the real fear kicks in because you've got a conversation going with somebody on LinkedIn or email. What do you do next? And this is where people start to shiver and shake. You need to have the guts to get on the phone and you need to start speaking to them. But it needs to be done in a way that is comfortable for you, that you don't feel like you're spamming them, that you don't feel, oh my gosh, this person hasn't specifically booked a call in my diary. Do I have the right to call them? This is what I'm going to be talking about today. Because when you overcome your fear and you start heading down and you get on the phone and you start speaking to them and you're nervous about that, as some people are, but some people aren't, what ends up happening is you end up having something amazing. Once you land and you start that conversation after the first minute or two, you start to get into free flow and you start to go, oh my gosh, I'm having this incredible conversation. And that's when, as he says in the video, you learn to fly. And this is what you want to do, guys. You need to fly in your conversations with people. And this week and next week and in the future, we are going to have these incredible conversations. I'm going to show you how to have amazing conversations with people. And that's where you're going to fly. Having great conversations around their pain is the whole purpose of what we're doing here. And the technique to get you there is so comforting, but it requires a mindset shift. So I hope this is all making sense to you guys, right? Let's start actually looking and delving deep. Oh yeah, let's start talking a bit about it. And I want to talk to you guys face to face about this. All right. So you've got a conversation with somebody on LinkedIn and they're starting to reply. Yeah, nice article. You've made a profound statement. They've replied to you back. You're getting a conversation going. What do you do next? Well, firstly, you just have to have the guts to get on the phone. LinkedIn, right, is amazing because a lot of those phone numbers are available. Now, the question you're all asking is, when do you get on the phone? Now, there's 2 points at which you could possibly get on the phone with them. First of all, when there's a conversation going, right? Second of all, is honestly when you have the guts to pick up that phone. And we're going to talk about what to say on that phone call now, right? So if you're still not 100% comfortable getting on the phone after there's a conversation going, chances are you're never going to be comfortable. If you wait until you send them a LinkedIn message saying, should we get on a call? And hoping they're going to say yes and book it in your diary, not the best approach. If you really want to crack this, guys, you've got to get on the phone. Now, here's what's really important. The perception is that people don't want to do business with you, or that they're scared of doing business with you, or you're scared of phoning them, or you're scared that they don't want to do business with you. So there's this fear element. Here's the truth right now. People want to do business with confident people who know their stuff. It doesn't mean you need to have a confident personality, but it does mean that you need to be confident in the value you have to offer them. In other words, if you pick up the phone and phone them, they're going to want to do business with you even more, because they want to do business with confident people that understand them. That's what they're looking for. So the question now we need to talk around, and we're going to start workshopping and over the next week or two, and we're going to start growing this over time, is how do you get that conversation to the point where you become a master at it? You become really, really top of your game. And it's just about being human. But for now, I just want you to take a couple of things that I want to go through. Okay. So first of all, remember this: 19 out of 20 people, all right, that you got in your base there are not going to phone you or ask you for a phone call. Some of them will, and when it happens, it's great. You need to proactively reach out to them, which is what you've been doing with your messages. But getting on the phone is the most important thing to change your business life forever and have that conversation. And when you first go through that dark space of picking up that phone, that dark room, and you come out of that dark room and you're on the phone, and now you've got to jump and go into that free fall, which you're going to learn about next week. And you're actually going to have that feeling of actually having an amazing conversation with someone. But just before that, you've got this kind of, oh my gosh, feeling. This is what I want to help you overcome today and next week. All right. So you know what you're doing. You've got a pain point. What do you essentially say to them on the phone? You want to get that one-on-one conversation going. These people on the other end don't want you to be arrogant and a hardcore salesperson. They want you to be confident about their pain. So it's just literally a case of getting on the call, right? And essentially it's just saying to them and just talking to them and saying, listen, we've been chatting on LinkedIn. You probably remember I wrote the article called da-da-da-da. Oh yeah, I know who you are. Great. All right. Listen, just sometimes it's better to have an old-fashioned human conversation. I just wanted to pick it up off LinkedIn. I thought I'd take a chance, give you a call. Let's just have a one-on-one chat about whatever it is we're chatting about. Just say that to them. That's all you got to do, guys. You don't have to say, I've got a product to sell you, or I'm a business coach, or I've got insurance or whatever. Not about you. Just say, we were chatting around this issue. Let me get on the phone and have a human conversation with you. And then just see how the conversation goes. And we'll talk about that in more detail next time. But that first picking up the phone and talking about the issue, right, that you brought up in your captivating one-liner is all you got to do. It's literally it. So once again, guys, you're on the phone. You've probably got their phone number on LinkedIn. If you don't, you've got to dig around for it and find it and get it on their website, et cetera, et cetera. But in many cases, you have their phone number right there on LinkedIn. So you just phone them. And you say to them, as I said before, listen, we've been chatting on LinkedIn. This is quite an interesting topic. Let's have a chat about it from a human perspective, because let's face it, man, there's no human connection these days. And that's something that I appreciate. Shall we have a chat about your pain? That's it. Whatever it was that you talked about in your article, and let them do the talking. Then you're going to be like the doctor, listen and diagnose, and just listen to what they have to say. Let the conversation flow. If they say to you, listen, I would love to have a conversation with you, but I can't do it now. I'm too busy. I've got a meeting on whatever they say. Cool. Then say, cool, man. When's a good time to give you a shout back? Let me put something in the diary. Next one. Okay, great. Put it in your diary. Send them an invitation request. Now you've actually got that appointment that you wanted anyway. Freaky? I know. And I know, guys, a lot of you want these appointments to mysteriously come to you from heaven. And the good news is that some of them will. If you do reach out to them as a message and say, let's have a quick conversation and speak about this on LinkedIn, shall we book it into our calendars? Great, you could try that. The problem with asking somebody for an appointment on LinkedIn and asking that question is if they say no, you've burnt your bridge. It's very difficult to come back from it now. They don't want to meet with you right now. So you could try in a week or two later and then find a way around that and say, listen, I know you were obviously a bit busy. Let's have a conversation. You've locked the conversation into LinkedIn now, or email, or offline. You've kind of given up the chance of actually getting onto a phone call, potentially. So what you really want to do for maximum success is you want to get on the phone and have a human conversation, and do it with confidence in that you understand their pain. That's what they want, guys. I hope this is really making sense. And I hope you guys are thinking, sure, yeah, maybe Scotty's right. Do I really want to do this? Is this something that I want to do? Do I want to get my sales going? I've got my conversation going. How do I do it? It's so gentle. Now, remember, that captivating one-liner that you've written and that article is a tool that you can use. You've used that tool to get a conversation going. You used it as a tool to get them to accept your LinkedIn connection in the first place. Now you've got to use it as a tool to start a human conversation on the phone. You have every right in the world to pick up the phone to somebody you're having a conversation with on LinkedIn, even if that conversation is still quite shallow, and pick up the phone and go, listen, mate, we're chatting on LinkedIn. I'm a human kind of guy. This is quite an important issue. I'd love to be able to chat to you about it one-on-one, like in a real human setting. So I thought, let me just give you a call and just sit back and listen to what they have to say. Take it from there. You will be astounded as to what will happen next, because the conversation is around the captivating one-liner and their pain. Some people have said to me, they're still struggling with their captivating one-liner, and the captivating one-liner that they've come up with their pain point doesn't match the solution that they have to offer. That is absolutely fine. You could take an article in a trade magazine, Forbes magazine, one of the million articles out there that specifically speaks to the pain point. Somebody else was saying that there's a huge shortage of steel in Africa at the moment. That's a pain point for people in steel manufacturing. Somebody was saying to me the other day, in the UK, there's a huge problem for logistics companies. It used to cost £3,000 to get a shipping container in. Now it costs £12,000. That is a problem. Now, that person might not have a solution to cheaper shipping containers. Business is slightly different. But as long as you're having a conversation with the right person that you want to speak to, it doesn't really matter. You're still having a conversation around their pain. Do you see how this is coming together? What will happen during the course of that conversation is you'll start talking about their issue, and that person's going to start asking you questions about you, in which case you can start to react. Don't give them a sales pitch. We'll go into this in more detail down the line. But what it allows you to do is it allows you to start shifting the conversation into what you can do. But what matters is that you care about them and that you understand that particular pain point. So if you're targeting logistics industry, which is a problem in the UK, it's 400%. You pick up the phone and say, listen, mate, how you doing? I've got to do this in an English accent. Hey, how you doing, mate? No, that's Australian, isn't it? Got to put an English accent, right? Yeah. And you're speaking to them on the phone and you're going, what's this crazy thing? We've been chatting on LinkedIn about it, right? We've been chatting LinkedIn about it, but this is a major problem. Yeah, it's £3,000 for a container. It's now £12,000. It's a problem in the industry, yeah. And the other person's going to go, "You're absolutely right, yeah." And you're having a conversation around it, and then you get to know each other. And that's how this whole process starts to come together. And all you're doing is you're just speaking as human beings would. And if nothing comes out of that conversation, other than let's chat again in a couple of weeks or continue speaking on LinkedIn, it's okay, because you've shown that person that you are somebody that gets their pain, is not a spammer, is a quality individual that really, really says, I'm trying to get to know you and let's come up with a solution together, potentially. But you've made a new friend. And that friend is somebody in the industry that you want to do business with. Next time you send them a LinkedIn message or you pop them a LinkedIn message after that phone call, great chatting to you, what are they going to do? They're going to move it from the emotional conversation, which is what you've just had with them. That conversation needs to be mostly emotional. It's human connection. They're going to move it offline and they're going to look for rational pieces of information about you and your business. The rational sale comes offline. They're going to look for a reason to do business with you. Oh, that's interesting. I see what you're actually doing. You do know my industry and you do sing them, but you do get it. And wow, this is what you do. Okay, I'll know you for next time. They went and hunted for information about you and what you did. In other words, they looked for the rational information. They might even look for pricing and all the rest of it offline and do that research. But the emotional sell is face-to-face, and you starting to communicate and build high quality relationships with high quality people. And now you've escalated it from a LinkedIn invitation message all the way through to getting on the phone with them, but it's still around the captivating one-liner. It's still soft and gentle. And amazingly, you can do it without even mentioning your product or service. It's flipping amazing. You're now building friends and getting this whole community together of people who you want to do business with. And you can use that down the line. You could host a webinar. You could get a hold of them in another couple of weeks. You can book a follow-up appointment for another couple of weeks. They will listen to you next time you send them a LinkedIn message. I guarantee you that next time you send them a LinkedIn message after you've had a phone call like this, that LinkedIn message will be with 90% positive hit rate, will get you a response from that person. They will reply to it. So when you send them another message with another piece of insight around their industry, right? A professional insight around them, they will almost certainly reply because you've had that human connection. Right back to basics. Do you see what we're doing here, guys? We're now just moving it and keeping that comfort zone. But yes, it requires a different mindset. Yes, it requires you to not think selling, but it's so comfortable. You've just got to go into that dark room just for a little minute, just for a few seconds, and hold your breath if you need to. And when you get to the other end and you've got this conversation, you've got to just jump off and go, let's have this conversation. And you're like going, oh my gosh, for the first 30 seconds, you're going, is this person really want to speak to me? And you know what? There might be the odd occasion where they don't want to speak to you. It's rare, but it might happen. It's unlikely. Most of the time, they will get into a conversation with you or book an appointment with you in a week or two when they can actually have a quality conversation with you. My gosh, guys, that is exactly what you're looking for. This is what makes a great salesperson, is the ability to diagnose and listen just like a doctor. I hope this is making sense, guys. Do you see how the rational and the emotional are starting to come together? And just this notion that you're listening to them in the hope that you can work together with them to come up with a solution. But it's your value that's got to come across. And your value will come across in your ability to listen and just throwing key little pearls of wisdom that show them that you get their pain, that you get their industry, or you get whatever your captivating one-liner is about. And if the conversation moves and digresses away from your captivating one-liner to something else, other pains within their industry or their job title or whatever it happens to be, awesome. That's what you're looking for. And let the rational sell come offline. Let them go and check you out on your LinkedIn profile, your website. Let them look for prices. Let them look for white papers, whatever you have. Most of you guys are small businesses, at the very least have a page or two PDF document about what you do. And that should be somewhere on your website or should be on your LinkedIn profile. Easy. They will go out and they will look for a reason to do business with you when they're ready. In the meantime, guys, keep following the process. Keep inviting people, keep sending out your captivating one-liner, keep sending out your professional insight message. Keep sending it out on LinkedIn. If they're not getting a response from LinkedIn, follow up on email. If they're not working on email, maybe come back to LinkedIn. Try do LinkedIn voice messages, which I'm going to be taking you through as well. How to send a short little LinkedIn voice message. LinkedIn voice messages are incredible after you've had that first conversation and you want to get them closer to a proposal stage or chat with them. There's a great opportunity within LinkedIn voice messages as well. One of the many things we're going to discuss in this never-ending Wednesday session that we're doing. It's really going to be great, guys. So you've got LinkedIn voice messages. Then you've got obviously the phone call, just getting on that phone and just having a conversation with them. It's incredibly powerful, guys. So when do you get on the phone? It's entirely up to you. There are some people that are amazing. The moment there's any engagement and they've clicked on that captivating one-liner and they've read the article or clicked on that captivating one-liner link, they're on the phone. They don't even wait for a conversation. You can do that. Nothing wrong if you've got the confidence. Most people like to wait a bit longer. They want to get a bit of a conversation going. I'm like that. You guys probably think, gee, Scott, so easy for you. You've got this outgoing personality. No, I flipping hate it. That's the truth. I don't enjoy this. I can't believe I'm about to say what I'm about to say. From an enjoyment perspective, I don't really enjoy and love the concept of taking people through this process. I'm not, and the reason for this is because I'm not diligent. I don't like Cherie said last week, waking up at 7:30 in the morning, cup of coffee, going through the process, doing it on a Monday and a Wednesday and Friday. I don't have that personality. I fly by the seat of my pants. That's what I usually do. And there's a really, really good bit in that process. But let me tell you something, I will get nowhere without that diligence if I don't do it. I will not have a business. I will not get sales. It's not going to happen. So you need to combine these things together. Is this all making sense, guys? I really, really hope this has been a slightly different session today. And I hope this is all starting to sink in. This is one of the few times I've actually made notes to actually take you through a process that you really get. And I want to reiterate something I said before. Okay. People want to do business with proactive, confident people who are humble, but confident in their particular space. You might be a very introverted person. You might be quite humble. You might be very chilled and relaxed. You're not assertive, right? However, I guarantee you that when you are talking about, or when you're in a comfy chair, or you're having a conversation about something that you know a lot about in terms of your business, and the other person sitting on the other end, I guarantee that when you're in your space and you're in your mode, talking about what you know, then you are confident and assertive. And all we've got to do is help you get to that comfy chair, help you get to that point where you can be in your confident mode. That is where you're going to shine. Our goal is to get you to the point where you can shine in front of them. Now, to get there, you're going to have to go through that dark room. You're going to have to jump off, hold your breath for a while, and then you're going to be able to fly, just like that video shows. I hope this is all coming through, guys. I hope this is all coming together. Next week, we have an incredible special guest, Sally Anderson. She's going to talk to you a lot more specifically about this. Once again, I'm not a motivational rah kind of guy normally. This video means a lot to me, and I think it makes sense, but I do know there's certain things you're going to overcome. I'm going to bring in a specialist next week who's going to talk to you specifically about this kind of process. All right, just getting and doing it, and just getting on that phone and overcoming your fears and working out what you want. Guys, it's going to change your business almost overnight if you guys can get this technique right. Follow the process from invitation message all the way through. It's just, guys, it's just a case of doing it. I'm going to go into Q&A shortly, and I'd love to hear your feedback about this. For those of you who are watching this recording, once again, I hope this is all making sense. I'd love to have you guys here. Just to recap once again, going back, when do you get on the phone call? When do you pick up the phone? It's up to you. You need to get to about 70 or 80% comfortable to pick up the phone. Do not wait till you're 100% comfortable. You will never be 100% comfortable. But you need to know for yourself, when are you comfortable enough to pick up that phone? And if it's after the conversation takes place, like me, you've got a conversation going on LinkedIn, that's absolutely great. But you've got to just work out for yourself when you're going to do it. All right, guys, that looks like I've covered all my points. Wow, today I was really, really diligent. So next week, we're going to go into more detail about the process. We're going to help you more about what to say to the call in the coming weeks as well. We're going to help you frame messages. We're going to keep expanding on this process. And we're going to turn you guys into end-to-end LinkedIn lead generators, salespeople, and ultimately closers. We're even going to have specialists coming in down the line, guys, that are going to help you with ideas on how to actually sell on the phone, how to get that close, but still using our soft methodology. Everything is soft and gentle. And I'm going to give you a little hint of what's to come. The most amazing thing that you can ever do in your business is not send proposals unless you are 100% sure that those proposals are going to be converted into business. So if you're out there sending out quotes and proposals and you're only getting a 1 in 3, 1 in 5 response rate, you should not be sending out those proposals. And we're going to take you through some of these amazing things that are still going to come from a sales perspective. So by the end of the day, you're going to be using LinkedIn and email to start the process of reaching out to people you've never met before, all the way through to closing, reselling, upselling, et cetera, et cetera. Guys, I hope this was good. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's go into Q&A now. Next week, don't miss it, guys. Sally Anderson, she literally works with billionaires and the highest echelon of the highest echelon. And she's going to be talking very, very specifically about this point. we've got a superstar next week. So see you all then. Once again, everybody, thank you for joining.